Okay, so here's the second half of the video for today. It's still test review day 1. Okay, number 16. It says, Abigail is selling bracelets to raise money for a field trip. So far, she has sold 25 bracelets for $33.45 each. Which strategy best represents how to find the total money Abigail has made? Well, in F, it's taking the 25 bracelets. And then it's taking... they took the 3 and added it to the 4,500s. And then 25 times 3 plus 4,500s. No. That's all wrong. G, they said 25 times 3, 25 times 4, and 25. So they broke each number up and multiplied it by 25. No. Because if they were going to do that, they'd have been breaking it up by decimal points, not whole numbers. 20 and 5 tenths. 20. This is 20 tenths and 5 hundredths. No. 25 is not a decimal number. So it has to be H. Okay, so 25 times 3 and 45 hundredths. They did 20 times 3 and 45 hundredths. And then they did 5 times 3 and 45 hundredths. And then combined them. Okay, so they broke it apart. I didn't even ask you A, B, C, or D for this one because I just answered it. Or F, G, H, J, whatever. I just went over it with you. So it's a break apart problem. Okay, 25 times 3 and 45 hundredths. 20 times 3 and 45 hundredths. 5 times 3 and 45 hundredths. Okay. All right, number 17. Justin spends $1.48 for coffee on his way to work each day. He works he works 5 days per week. How much money will Justin spend on coffee before work in 4 weeks? 2-part question. Okay, this is a 2-part question. He spends $1.48 for coffee on his way to work each day, and he works 5 days a week. How much will he spend on coffee before work in 4 weeks? $7.40, $5.92, $29.60, or $28.60. Ow, my leg hurts. Okay. So $1.48 for coffee every day for 5 days. Okay, so $1.48 each for 5 days. 8 times 5 is 40. 5 times 4 is 20, plus 4 is 24. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 2 is 7. I have 2 decimal places. So he spends $7.40 each week. Okay. He spends $7.40 a week on coffee. Ask Miss Gibson. She probably sends that per day. Okay. And then we want to know how much he's going to spend in 4 weeks. 4 times 0 is not 4, 0. 4 times 4 is 16. 7 times 4 is 28. Plus 1 is 29. I have 1 decimal with 2 numbers behind it. So I have to move the decimal 2 places to the left. To $29.60 a week. Y'all should make this a math question for Miss Gibson. Don't tell her I said that. Number 18, an automatic car wash uses 14 7/10 gallons of fresh water for each car. How many gallons of fresh water are used to wash 25 cars? Okay, this is not a multi-step problem. Okay, car wash uses 14 7/10 gallons of fresh water for each car. How many gallons would it use for 25 cars? All right, so 14 7/10 times 25. Okay, remember, you don't have to put the decimal down. You can just do 147 times 25 and then place the decimal. Remember, in multiplying decimals, we do not line up the decimal. Okay, that's on page 20 of your notes. Find it in your journal if you need to, but we don't line up the decimals. 7 times 5 is 30. 5 times 4 is 20, plus 3 is 23. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 2 is 7. Oh, I totally put 0. Sorry. 7 times 5 is 35. I think I said that. Anyways. 7 times 5 is 35. 5 times 4 is 20, plus 3 is 23. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 2 is 7. Okay, I had to check myself. All right. Tick, tack, oh. 2 times 7 is 14. 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9. 2 times 1 is 2. Add it up. 7, 16. So 3675. Okay, so then I have a decimal with only one number behind it. So I need one place for a decimal in my answer. So 367.5. So it's car wash is going to use 367 5/10 gallons of water for 25 cars. So your answer is J. Okay, number 19. One pound of bananas cost 58 cents. Drake bought 7 5/10 pounds of bananas. How much did Drake spend on bananas? 1 pound cost 58 cents. He bought 7 5/10 pounds. How much did he spend? Okay, so 58 cents times 7 5/10 is what you're going to do, or what you should have done. So 75 times 58. Remember, no decimal. Now I place my decimal. 8 times 5 is 40. 7 times 8 is 56, plus 4 is 60. Tick, tack, oh. 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 7 is 35, plus 2 is 37. And then add it up. 0, 5, 6 plus 7 is 13, and 3 plus 1 is 4. So 43.50 is what we get, all right? But now we have to place the decimal. I have one problem with the decimal that has 1 space. My second part of the problem has 2 spaces for a total of 3 decimal spaces. So in my answer, I have to move over 3 spaces because I need 3 numbers behind my decimal. Well, this 0 can drop off at the end of a decimal, right? So that means he spent $4.35 on bananas. All right, number 20. It took Gary 43 7/10 minutes to drive to work. It takes Paul 3 4/10 times as long as Gary to drive to work. How long did it take Paul to drive to work? Okay, it takes 43 7/10 minutes for Gary to drive to work. It takes Paul 3 4/10 times as long. How long did it take Paul to drive to work? Okay, so it says it takes Gary 43 7/10 minutes. It takes Paul 3 4/10 times. That's your clue that you're multiplying. 437 times 34. Okay, or 43 7/10 times 3 4/10. Once you add your decimals. Okay, you just have to make sure that you are writing it down without lining up the decimals. Yes, in this case, the decimals did line up, but I did not do it on purpose. I wrote my numbers first. 7 times 4 is 28. 4 times 3 is 12. Plus 2 is 14. 4 times 4 is 16. Plus 1 is 17. Tick. Mark out what I carried. Tack. Mark out the ones place. Oh, because now I'm multiplying by the tens. 3 times 7 is 21. 3 times 3 is 9. Plus 2 is 11. And 3 times 4 is 12. Plus 1 is 13. 8 plus 0 is 8. 4 plus 1 is 5. 7 plus 1 is 8. 1 plus 3 is 4. Bring down the 1. All right, now we have to move our decimal. We have 2 decimals in this problem. So the first one has 1 number behind it. The second one has 1 number behind it for a total of 2 pieces or 2 places. 1, 2, decimal. So if it takes Gary 43 and 70 minutes to drive to work, it takes Paul 148 and 58 minutes to get to work, because it takes Paul 3.4 times as long as Gary. Paul has a long way to drive each day. 148 and 58 hundredths. All right, number 21. Astrid is making 1 dozen cookies. Astrid's recipe uses 3 5/10 cups of flour to make 2 dozen cookies. The shaded part of the model below shows how she adjusted the cookie recipe to bake 1 dozen cookies. So which equation is best represented by this model? You saw this on your last unit test. Okay, 3 5/10. It is a division problem. So process of elimination, I can get rid of A. This is 350. We said 3 5/10. Okay, B. That's a subtraction problem. If I have a recipe that's 3 5/10 and I'm going to, for 2 dozen cookies, and she adjusted the recipe to 1 dozen, that should be understood that that is a division problem. Not to mention, it says 4 5/10, not 3 5/10. Okay, so it's between C and D. Well, she cut the recipe in half. So count what's shaded. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/10, and this is 5/10, so that's 1 whole, right? That means this is 5/10, and this is 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 out of 100. So you add these two together, you get 75 hundredths. 1 whole and 75 hundredths. Okay? Besides, if you take 3.5 and you divide it by 2, you can't get 2, can you? That should have also been obvious. Okay? You just have to think about the question. Use process of elimination and use some common sense to just weed out the problems. Okay? Number 22. Model is shown. You've seen this before. Which expression is represented by the model? Let's see what page this is in our journal. It's supposed to be in our journal. It should be page 21. Okay? Refer to page 21 in your journal. 21 or 22. When we talked about models. Okay, so remember what I said. Well, if you look at your answer choices, they're all 2 4/10. 1 whole, 2 whole, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is 2 4/10 total. And they're breaking it apart. Okay? If this was a multiplication problem, it would be 6/10 times 1, 2, 3, 4, right? That would be a multiplication problem. But they gave you 2 4/10. How many times did they break it? 4 times. It's not a subtraction problem. It's not an addition problem. Okay, if you were going to do a multiplication, you would have 2 4/10 4 different times, kind of like we did on, let me find it. You would have this number 4 times. They didn't do that. They took a whole number, 2 and 4, a whole big model, 2 4/10, and they broke it apart. You are breaking it apart. So it is a division problem. It is not a multiplication problem. Okay, this is division. It would have been H. Okay, so if that's a division problem, then obviously what are you going to do with number 23? So think about it. Jameson has a piece of ribbon that is 22 6/10 centimeters. He cut the ribbon into 3 equal-sized pieces. Which expression represents the length of each smaller piece of ribbon? (22 6/10). And he's cutting it into smaller pieces, so he is dividing it by 3. He's not making it bigger. He's not adding 3 pieces, and he's not taking away 3 pieces. He is dividing into 3 equal pieces. Keyword for this one, equal size. Okay? Make sure you slow down and read the questions. 24. Which model represents 2 4/10 divided by 3? 2 4/10 divided by 3. Okay, if you have 2 4/10, remember we're looking for the whole model broken into 3 groups. Okay, because the groups is a whole number. So this one is 3 groups, but this one is 2 4/10 3 times. This would be a multiplication problem. So that's not right. This is 2 4/10 3 times. No, we're not looking for multiplication. We're looking for division. Oh, sorry. This one is 2 4/10 and then 3 wholes. Not an option. This is 2 4/10. I don't even know what's going on there. Okay, this is 2 4/10 broken into 1, 2, 3 groups. Okay, 2 4/10 broken into 1, 2, 3 groups. Okay, all right. Number 25. Terry bought 5 packages of gum with $2.25 in nickels. He spent the same amount for each package of gum. Which expression can be used to find the amount of money Terry spent for each package of gum? Okay, so you have to visualize. Look at the picture. Okay, think about what it's asking you. All right, so he bought 5 packages of gum, and he had $2.25 in nickels. Well, this is $2.25 in nickels. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, wait, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90, 95, $1. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90, 95, $1. So that's $2. And 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 cents. Okay, so he had $2.25 in nickels. Which direction can you see 5 groups? If you go vertical, you have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 groups. We're looking for 5 packages, so we're looking for 5 groups. If I go horizontal, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So one package of gum should have cost this much money. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45 cents. So that means he paid 45 cents for each package of gum, right? Terry bought 5 packages of gum with $2.25 in nickels. She spent the same amount on each package. So that means she spent 45 cents on each package. That is a division. $2.25 divided by 5. Divided by 9 would have been totally different, right? And we're not multiplying. Okay, so $2.25 divided by 5. But I want you to be able to visualize the picture. All right, so that's it for today in videos. I'm going to post a teacher-made assignment. I'm going to ask you a few questions here in a minute that are going to go on. But as far as questions, that's it. Please make sure you went through that whole review. If there's any questions, now is your time. I'm going to post for you to ask me your questions and let you give you a chance to kind of reflect on what you've done so far. Any unfinished work that you have, you can work on before you do the teacher-made assignment, because the teacher-made assignment is just kind of another review. Okay, so finish these 2 videos. Finish any unfinished work you've had for Monday and Tuesday before you do today's last assignment. Okay, I can't wait to see y'all on Monday. You can't make fun of me because I'll be on crutches or a wheelchair because I stink at crutches. So, but guys, I really, really, really need y'all to do your very best. So if there's anything you don't understand from today in the review, now's the time to ask the questions so I can address it tomorrow. Okay? I will talk to you again tomorrow.